Thank you for joining my presentation on a review of servant leadership qualities from Esther. My name is George K.N.T. Today, I'll be discussing with you why the Bible has information for leadership, specifically why Esther presents as a servant leadership example that the 21st century leadership can follow in bringing dimensions from the biblical literature in influencing organizational growth. The agenda for today, I'll discuss why servant leadership, leadership qualities from the biblical text of Esther, the framework that I used to study Esther's leadership, what made Queen Esther a servant leader, and a call to action. So first, we look at why servant leadership. Servant leadership brings productivity. Productivity is the goal of every organization, both past and now. They want to advance. They want to produce more. They want to gain more profit. And that cannot happen without employees, without followers being more committed into what they do. And that is an aspect of leadership, to be able to influence them. So where servant leadership comes in is that studies have shown, like UCall 2013, have shown that servant leaders are able to bring productivity in the area of influencing employees. Another dimension that servant leadership brings is helpful for leadership in the 21st century is that it brings about follower relevance. Patterson 2003 states that the focus of a servant leader is always on the follower. And it has been also supported by studies like Salandri Karaha 2014. Now, why Esther's leadership qualities is important? We want to look at what makes Esther a leader. And the dimension I used to study Esther's leadership qualities was taken from the framework of Barbado and Wheeler servant leadership questionnaire. And Esther's actions mimic some of the constructs of Barbado and Wheeler's servant leadership. For example, Esther seeks the best interests of others. Esther was always alert to what was happening. And then Esther also was convincing others to do things. So when you look at these three areas, being alert of what was happening, convincing others to do things, and then seeking the best interest, factored into the framework of Barbado and Wheeler. Now, Esther cannot be seen as a servant leader unless the direction of a leadership theory is followed to study Esther's attitude. According to Creswell and Creswell 2018, we cannot conclude that Esther is a servant leader until we follow specific direction of a theory. So coming back to Barbado and Wheeler's theory or framework of servant leadership in their questionnaire, there are 5 areas in the framework. That is altruistic calling, emotional healing, wisdom. Altruistic calling is where the leader is very genuine, is very up to front, is very clear with vision and everything. That way, the leader has some aspect of servant leadership. Then emotional healing, where the leader must be able to heal emotionally. And then wisdom is where the leader is able to anticipate consequences. Persuasive mapping is another aspect. And then organizational stewardship. So what made Queen Esther, a servant leader. With a framework of Barbados and Wheeler, knowing that we have altruistic calling all the way to organizational stewardship, we look at Esther's leadership in all the areas of the framework. So first is altruistic calling. Now, Esther exhibited traits of altruistic calling. First, she had the best interests of the Jews. That was tailored from Esther chapter 11, Esther chapter 4, verse 11, where she knew the outcome if she went to the king without being summoned. Yet she sorted for the best interest of the Jews. So she decided to go before the king. So she did not become selfish because she had the best position to be. She was ready to sacrifice. In Esther 4:16, if I perish, I perish, was a statement of readiness to sacrifice. Then she did everything possible to save by serving others. In Esther 4:15, she fasted herself with her mates and then requested all the Jews to also fast in support. In this way, Esther exhibited altruistic calling in her leadership. So we can say Esther had altruistic calling from the verses of scripture that are here. Then the next aspect of servant leadership that I look in Esther is emotional healing. Emotional healing. Emotional healing is going above and beyond the call of duty. In Esther chapter 4, verse 5, or Esther chapter 4, verse 4 and 5, Esther first heard of Mordecai's situation. She sent close to her. And then she also sent a messenger for the messenger to ask Mordecai what was really bothering him. This way, Esther went above and beyond the call of duty to make sure Mordecai was heard, to make sure Mordecai was clothed, and to make sure the Jews, their cry was heard. Another way of emotional healing that I see in Esther is helping others with emotional issues after getting to know about the problem of others. Esther's leadership indicate in Esther 4:15 to 17 that she helped them to heal emotionally. Esther acted. She did not just wait. She acted upon to see what she could do by ordering the people to fast so that she will go to the king. So Esther was emotionally attached to the issue of other people. She could have said, I'm in the palace, I don't have a problem, but she cared for them. And then she had a quality that made others turn to her for help. Mordecai knew if she got away to Esther, Esther could do something about the situation. And the Jews in turn turned to her and they waited on her to do something. So Esther exhibited the quality of leadership that is emotional healing based on the fact that she was above and beyond the call of duty. She was seeking the best interest for others emotionally, and then others turning to her to help with the situation they are facing emotionally. Esther exhibited wisdom as well. Wisdom is where the leader stays alert, according to Barbados and Wheeler. And wisdom is where the leader is able to anticipate the consequences of decisions made or the outcomes of decision made. And then the leader is aware of whatever is going on. So Esther was alert. Esther 4:15, 16, she was alert. Esther 4:7, Esther 7, verse 4, she was alert of what was going on. So she was able to act in a way when the king asked for her petition, she was able to wait on and knew the right time because she was studying the environment, how she could get Mordecai or how she could get Haman in the presence of the king so that whatever she requested could be given unto her. And then she was aware. Esther 5, 3 to 5, Esther 5, 7 to 8 shows that Esther stayed being aware. She sent clothes to Mordecai. She sent a messenger for them to hear what was bothering Mordecai so that Mordecai was able to speak. Now we come to the persuasive mapping aspect of servant leadership found in Queen Esther. Esther had the ability to convince others with compelling reasons. In Esther 4:16, if I perish, I perish means I'm ready to die for you. So why would you exempt yourself from the group activity? Esther was able to call them to fast together. The next thing Esther did was she was able to find compelling reasons for the king to continue asking for her wish. And she was able to get the king because after many times of asking for the wish, the king needed to do what Esther asked exactly. And then Esther had the ability to guide purposeful action. Esther was very purposeful in her actions by delaying in responding to the king's wish for her. And then also by first asking the Jews to pray in a fast before she approached the king. Esther exhibited organizational stewardship. Here is where community spirit comes in. According to Barbado and Wheeler, 2006, a leader who has organizational stewardship at heart means that leader is more about the community, how the community can grow, how relief can come. The next aspect is to look at how Esther is seen as an example of servant leadership. So in conclusion, there's the detailed exploration of altruism, emotional intelligence makes Esther a servant leader. Now, Esther presents a model through which servant leadership may be highly regarded and used as a 21st century leadership approach. Thank you.